It's for you.
Strange that you and I have never spoken on the phone. This is long overdue.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
You've come this far, then you know what's out there.
You're not gonna scare us.
Scared him?
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast. My name is Bobby Quarters. This week, first with me, as always, is Bob. Bob, how are you?
Shit, I'm here too. God, I hate doing work. I told you, Bobby, I don't... okay, fine, I'm here. God damn it. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Been kind of a chaotic week, but I'm doing okay.
It's been a chaotic couple weeks for me, so, yeah. This is life, I guess, now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, we got some exciting movies to talk about. We got, Scream 6. We got Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead. And we got Last of Us. So it's totally like a whole comedy lineup. Lighthearted fun this week. Just hilarious.
Some good-natured.
Yeah.
Just good-natured all around.
Hilarity ensues. Like, I mean, this is, like, we're talking about the original Evil Dead. And I think people forget it is by far the funniest of the three.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely the funniest.
But, yeah, I guess, you ready to dive right into Oscars?
Yeah, let's talk some of the golden guys.
Yeah, Oscars. So Oscars were last night. I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie, my interest in Oscars have waned quite a bit over the years. It just kind of...
Yeah.
There was a time where it's like, ooh, Oscars, movie awards, and now it's kind of like, And, like, the more you learn about the behind-the-scenes stuff, it's kind of like, It's, like, all about smoozing and stuff, and it's like... Yeah. Kind of kills your spirits about it. That being said, I will say, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once pretty much won everything. And that's a great movie, so I can't really argue with that. I can't really...
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think that all the awards that it got were well-deserved.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they took home Best Picture.
Yeah,
and,
Best Picture.
Best Actress.
Yep.
And Best Supporting Actor and Actress.
Yeah, like... Yeah, so
Best
Best
Picture.
Picture.
Took home Best Screenplay, too. Best Story.
Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh. Let's see. Best Supporting Actor, Ki Hugh Kwan. Short Round got an Oscar.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actress, Jamie Lee Curtis. Best Director, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schweinert.
Yeah, which I believe that's Jamie's first Oscar.
Is it? I can't think of where else you'd win an Oscar, but, yeah, that's a good question. Let's find that out right now. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to this, she's only won one Academy Award, so I'm going to assume it's updated, and that's last night.
Okay.
So, shit. Yeah. It's like... It's kind of surprising, but then again, I don't know what else she'd win for, so... Yeah. I'm pretty sure it also won... it won Best Original Screenplay. I'm pretty sure it won Best Editing as well. Yep, Best Film Editing. So that's quite a few. It's doing all right.
Yeah.
I think so. I haven't seen The Whale, but I want to go ahead and say that I am happy for Brendan Fraser to just kind of get like a little comeback going on. Because Brendan Fraser just seems like a nice guy, and it's nice to see him get some accolades.
Yeah, absolutely. I also know that Harrison Ford presented the Oscar for Best Picture.
Oh, really?
So there was a kind of a reunion on stage of him in Short Round.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that.
Thing to see.
I'm still waiting for that Short Round Disney Plus series. They should release it in conjunction with the new Indiana Jones movie. I'm not gonna lie. After his performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm all for like the Adventures of Adult Short Round. It's a weird thing. One of my least favorite characters from that movie, but I'm like, okay, let's do more. Why not?
No, Billy was far more obnoxious, in my opinion.
That's why I said one of my least favorites. Willie was actually much worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oscars. Super exciting stuff.
Yes.
I'm really engaged by him. But yeah.
Yeah, no.
I guess, are we ready to dive into Scream 6?
Yeah, let's talk about Scream.
So I didn't know what to expect walking into this. Number one, this is the first one without Nev Campbell. And then number two, like, this is the first one made, like, there's a 1-year turnover with this movie, which was kind of shocking. Like Scream movies back in the day, with the first three, were made all fairly close together. That being said, even those weren't 1-year turnovers. Those were 2.
2 to 3, if I remember correctly.
I think it might have been 2 years between the first 3. Because I want to say it was like 96, 98, and 2000.
Yeah.
You know, that's decent fast turnover as well, but this blows that out of the water. Now, when a movie comes out that quickly, it gives me either two ideas. Either A, they were super inspired and, you know, just things came together and it worked out great. Or the studio just put a lot of pressure on them to force it out. For this, I kind of feel like things probably just came together, because I thought this was decent. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I did, but that is also a concern of mine too. Whenever a studio will push out like a return or a sequel to something so quickly, I think either maybe the creative force behind the first one, like 5, maybe they went in with a pitch and they pitched like a few different stories all at once, or a linear something like that. But yeah, like it concerns me, and especially since I'm already hearing whispers of 7.
Yeah, no, I'm already hearing whispers of 7. It's like, we don't have to crank them out this fast regularly, guys. I think 6 really turned out pretty decent. In fact, I'd probably even say I enjoyed 6 a bit more than 5. But I
wouldn't go that far.
Oh,
but
really?
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I liked it more than 5.
I think I would. I think I'd actually probably say I enjoyed this more than any of the better than anyone not written by Kevin Williamson. But yeah, well, Kevin Williamson wrote the 3 best ones, and nobody's touched that yet. No.
Yeah, he did, because
that is the true Scream trilogy, which is of course 1, 2, and 4. But you know, 1, 2.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 4. Yeah.
There wasn't anyone in between those, so it flows nicely.
Well, they actually did a lot of acknowledging of 3 in this one. I'm surprised.
Yeah, they brought up Roman Bridger. They actually focused a little bit on Roman Bridger, just like, he's the only solo one. It's like,
yeah.
It never quite made sense how he was a solo one, too. Like, he's kind of the Flash in some of those scenes, apparently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I thought overall this one worked. I thought they did a good job with Sydney. And, you know, it was a quick little, like, line about, like, she's just off living with her family. I think it worked because essentially it gives her a happy ending if she never ever comes back. But, of course, leaves the door open for her to come back if something happens.
Yeah, and from what I understand with production of this, they had a story already in place heavily involving Nev Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, I don't want to say more than the previous, but still, like, her involvement was there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think with her not returning, it might have, like, they had to, like, seriously rewrite the story or do a lot of changes or revisions to the script
Mm-hmm.
in order to make it work.
That being
Now,
said, if that's
yeah,
true,
that being said,
if
yeah.
if this is a script with heavy revisions, you can't really tell. I think overall the script seems fairly decent. Obviously, I don't think it's perfect by any means, but I think overall I think probably the thing I like the most about this movie, I'll go ahead and say this, and they even name them in this movie, the Core Four. Yeah. I like these characters. Especially the twins. I'm blanking on the names.
Chad and Mindy.
Chad and Mindy, yes. Those are awesome characters. So much so spoilers. So much so that I was sad when Chad died, and I didn't even care how unrealistic it was when it turned out he didn't.
Yeah, I was more surprised that if they were gonna kill him like they did, but then later turned out not. I think he might just be taking over the role of Dewey, of just like, getting the shit stabbed out of him in every movie and somehow surviving.
Yeah,
same with Mindy in this one too. Like I thought she was a goner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she gets messed up too. Not as bad as Chad, but yeah, no, I definitely feel like Chad has become the new Dewey. I had that same thought. Like, geez, he got stabbed up and oh, I know another character in Scream that used to do that. But yeah, what did you think of... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about the opening sequence, the opening kill.
Go for it.
It's probably one of my favorite parts of this entire movie.
Yeah, that was interesting how they handled that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it starts off with God, what is her name?
Samara Weaving, is that it?
Yeah, Samara Weaving. She's meeting someone on like some blind date, and we hear a call from somebody who we've seen in the cast. I guess they are meeting for some sort of date, but then his voice switches over to Ghostface.
Yeah.
And surprise, that same character we heard is the killer underneath. Well, at least killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes back to him in his apartment, and we find out that him and his roommate already have this whole plan to take out the Carpenter sisters, Sam and Tara. But then another Ghostface calls and intercepts with their plan. And just kind of... Yeah, I really like that, because when that first reveal was made, I was just like, oh...
Yeah.
Okay, are we doing this early?
Yeah,
so like we're gonna know who the killer is the whole time?
Yeah, no.
This was an interesting take. Yeah,
I remember watching that, and we're sitting on that mask for a long time, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, is he gonna take off the mask? Like, we haven't even met the Carpenter sisters yet, and we're gonna have him unmasked, and yep, he took off the mask. I was like, okay, how are we playing this movie? I mean that.
Yeah, I was kind of very surprised with the role, and then when the phone call came and like how the conversation was going, I was like, oh
yeah,
okay, cool, I'm okay with this.
Yeah,
definitely a great opening scene. I kind of knew that Samara Weaving was gonna be the opening kill. I had
well, I didn't know that going in, but once she was sitting there, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like when it opened with her, it's like, yes, my prediction was correct. Now, one of my predictions was pseudo-correct.
Oh, what was that?
The first killer. I straight thought he was going to be one of the killers. Thought he was going to be the killer.
Was it Tony Revolori?
Yeah.
No, he took off that mask. It's like, oh shit, we're playing it this early. Okay, and then of course, he gets killed by Ghostface, and then we have to figure out. Like, I do think it's interesting how they play it off. Like, we have him as. I mean, I guess you could technically say there's 4 Ghostface in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's only 3 at the end, which I suppose is one of the twists as well, because I think that's kind of why they made such a big point of pointing out Roman Bridger from the third one, because he was the one. he was the one Ghostface killing where there was not two, and here's another example where there's not two.
Yeah.
But, yeah. What do you think of the reveal of 3 Ghostface?
Not the strongest in the series.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. With this one, I see a lot of echoing of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of echoing from Scream 2, which how I saw a lot of echoing from 1 in 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole revenge motivation for Ghostface is very strongly inspired by 2. I mean, in the second one, it was Billy's mom, and now it's
Richie's dad.
Yeah,
and
Richie.
siblings.
That's it. Yeah, Richie's dad. I want to say Huey's dad, but
Man, Simon Pegg as the killer. That would have been awesome.
That would have been a twist. Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Well, that is one thing I'm sure the Carpenter sisters were a little bit distracted, but like when the dad calls in, the dad's a cop. I don't remember what name he goes by, but he's a cop. It's Dermot Mulroney. He calls up and lets him know because they're with Kirby, who returns. What do you think of the return of Kirby, by the way?
I liked it.
Yeah.
And especially like this is like her first role in years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a nice welcome back to the franchise. Like,
yeah. And
I had no issue with her and where her character was and all of that. I liked all of it. I thought it was very fitting.
No, it's something that they've never handled before. Just bringing back a character who, for all intents and purposes, was assumed dead after the 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they handled it fairly well. Like, obviously, she's scarred up and crap, but yeah.
I know that when Wes wrote it, or I'd seen an interview with him and Kevin, and they were talking about it, and they purposely made her status like ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they kind of wanted to leave that option open.
Yeah, left her wounds a bit less fatal. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was one of those things where like her killing was quite a bit less severe than something like Dewey, where they went over the top on that one just to make a point. But I thought they did a good job bringing her back. But anyways, when the dad calls up, because Kirby is an FBI agent in this one, because it's been like 12 years since we've seen her in canon, probably something like that. But anyways, she's helping them try to set up a trap for Ghostface. And then the Dermot Mulroney character calls up and he says, hey, Kirby's been kicked off the FBI for a couple months. Don't trust her. And I remember thinking, okay, once you get that phone call, what you know is either Kirby's Ghostface or he is Ghostface. And instead they just kind of take him at his word, which was a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
And the fact that he actually, that whole building was set up to, trap whoever tries to get in. The fact that he was able to get in so easily. Come on.
Yeah, let's talk about that building.
Yeah, that was... What's the rent on that place, I wonder?
I don't know. In New York City? I don't know. But the building in question is the one that we've seen in the trailers, the Ghostface Memorial Shrine that has hints, Easter eggs to the entire franchise as of yet. I think that we saw more of that room in the film than we did in the trailer. And in the trailer, even I was thinking, my God, I would have saved this reveal for the movie.
Yeah,
that's if I was cutting a trailer together, I would have saved that for the movie.
That's kind of more an issue of trailers. Like they want to put the stuff in there to get you in there, which is unfortunate because sometimes I do feel like trailers do give away some of the best stuff.
Regardless,
in the movie.
Title like Scream. Well, a title like Scream still has a built-in audience.
True,
just as any like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Avatar, Rocky, they have their built-in audiences, and those people are guaranteed to go see those movies no matter what.
Well, I think one of the most famous examples of successfully blocking something from leaking would be something from Spider-Man No Way Home, where Sony was pushing hard to get Garfield and Tobey Maguire in those trailers. And to my understanding, Kevin Feige fought against it and essentially won.
Yeah.
And honestly, respect to him for that, because that was one of those reveals where it's like I think when Daredevil pops up in that movie, I'm like, oh, they're all gonna be in it. But still,
Yeah.
not knowing that until I'm partway through the movie it's a nice refreshing change. Knowing there's gonna be something substantial in this movie that wasn't revealed in the trailer. Nice. But yeah, I think Scream 6 overall worked out well for me. I will say, yeah, overall not my favorite. I thought Dermot Mulroney was alright, but the other two killers, his other two kids, kind of forgettable.
Brandon and Ethan, yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan died the same way as Stu did, because Stu Macher is dead in this world.
Yeah, they do say that quite a bit.
I kind of liked that.
Yeah. It's like, guys,
like,
just
within
just
the fandom
stop.
of Scream, that's the one thing I just God, Mike, get over yourself, guys.
Well, it's like, what
Like,
I do have to wonder, what big moment in one of these movies do you want to reveal that Stu is alive, and what great story point does that open up for the franchise? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know why they're pushing for
I know.
it.
Well, Kevin's pitch for 3 originally, like, I know it involved like Stu surviving that and him running some sort of ghost face cult from prison.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe going off that or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Kevin didn't have much of a
What I
role in
find
3,
very
but yeah.
what I find very interesting about that movie, about that theory, is that the majority you hear it is from just, kind of younger fans, I guess. And I don't mean to like kind of sound ageist or anything, but it's more
You're
so
sounding
just like
incredibly ageist.
people who didn't grow up with those big box 90s TVs I know how heavy those things are. Bob, you know how heavy those things are.
Fuck. My parents had like I don't even know how big it was, but it was a massive one. God damn. Like, 2 people on both ends of it could barely lift it.
Yeah, and it's not like, like a flat screen dropping on you.
No.
You walk away from that.
No, easily.
But not the big picture ones, no.
No, I mean, that giant picture tube I was just talking about, I probably have a TV in there twice its size and a fraction of the weight.
Yeah, and from the damage of that TV, yeah, it looked like it did some damage to somebody.
Yeah.
But,
not to mention
that room still, though, that room was just so awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like a virtual experience of that, or just have them take that whole thing on the road and just let fans explore it.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, for sure. But yeah, overall, my final thoughts on this movie, I think I liked it a bit more than 5. It worked. It wasn't perfect. The big spoiler, I'll go ahead and say, Gail survives, but she does get messed up.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kill her in this one.
Yeah, no, it's not. It wouldn't have surprised me if they did. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't.
No.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, mainly because they didn't do a whole lot of focus on her. I mean, a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Dewey had a whole lot of focus in 5, and that, the more focus they put on him, it was like, oh god, he's not looking good, is he? He's not.
Well, Tara connected with a punch with her in this one.
Yeah.
I didn't think I love how much seeing that.
Yeah.
So like when Sam Swan, she missed, she's like, I played this game before. Tara connects.
Yeah.
It's like, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's a Scream movie.
Yeah.
Gail got punched.
I mean, let's face it, Gail has a bit of bitch in her.
Yeah.
Or maybe when I say a bit, I mean a lot. But
yeah,
she is one of the heroines of the franchise. But holy shit.
Yeah. And in my opinion, doesn't get the credit of the final girl as she should in this movie, or in this series.
Oh
the
yeah,
final girl, and yeah.
Well, I mean, she's now has to be the one actress to be in all. Well, I guess what's his name? Roger Jackson.
Roger Jackson's been in all of them.
Yeah, but that's just the voice. She is the one person to appear physically in all the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will see what Scream 7 has lined up. I mean, if they're able to maintain this quality and release Scream 7 in a year, I will be happy. But yeah, I'm a little concerned. Like, don't burn it out, guys. Don't.
No, and that's kind of what I'm afraid might happen
Yeah.
if 7 comes out this quickly. Before we move on, what do you what was your favorite kill in the movie?
Ooh, favorite kill. I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, the most memorable kill. Is it my favorite? I don't know, but the most memorable kill has to be Mindy's girlfriend on the ladder.
Yeah,
That
would be
was
mine too.
intense.
That-
Well, I mean, her
that
going
would be
across,
mine.
I was like, God, she's got a hell of a wound, and she's going across that ladder, and yeah, it didn't end well
Yeah.
for her. Mm,
No, when like the killer walked up and stabbed at him, I go, oh great,
yeah,
this is not going to be good. This won't end well.
no, that was a nasty wound she had, and it's like, okay, now I have to crawl across this ladder. It's like, oh my God, she's gonna be bleeding out while she does that too. That's
Yeah. Because she got stabbed pretty badly.
Yeah, like Mindy got a little cut, and that you could tell that was having to use her arm on that ladder was hurting, but like that's way better than.
Yeah.
But yeah, was that your pick too, or?
Yeah, that was mine too.
Yeah, that was definitely a noteworthy kill. Holy crap!
Yeah, and the Gale's chase scene too. That was great too. I really liked it.
Yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it when she told him like, "Could you hold, please?"
Yeah, the way she fucks with them and stuff. Yeah,
No.
that
I'm so
was
tired of it.
Yeah, no, I actually love that moment. Yeah, actually, can you hold, please? Hang up, star 69.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, and the response of Ghostface, what? that was awesome.
I liked it, and I also like how we're seeing the older, the legacy characters kind of taking more of like not necessarily a backseat, but
Yeah.
but it's kind of a mixture between a backseat role and
Yeah.
a leadership role.
I mean, you could definitely argue Gail kind of had a backseat, although when she was, when they need her to be a highlight, she was a highlight. And Kirby was kind of like, she was definitely a strong supporting role. It was definitely about the core four, though. And I like the core four. They work.
And I love that name.
Yeah, he said that. I was like, that works for me. And yeah, no, there's solid enough characters that, like, I'm watching this and I'm not really missing not having Sydney or Dewey or Randy around. It's like, oh, okay. I do feel like Mindy, and to a lesser extent Chad, kind of helped fill in the Randy void. And I think maybe even do it better, because I remember Randy even kind of bugged me a little bit in the second one. Not in the first one so much, but the second one a little bit.
He kind of did bug me a little in the first one.
But yeah, I think Mindy does it better.
Yeah, I agree.
But are we ready for Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a comedy gem! Bruce Campbell and his one-liners. He won't stop in this one.
He doesn't have too many one-liners in this one.
No,
He's very timid in this one.
No, this is a very different Ash.
Yeah, like, this is definitely a scaredy cat Ash.
Yeah.
In this one.
It'll be interesting rewatching them, because, like, I feel like when you watch these movies, you have, like, this just, like, almost, like, normal dude in a horror movie Ash. And then in the next one, we're going to see him, like, we're going to see him snap. And he's just going to be like, fuck it.
And me and a friend have had a long-standing theory about these movies, and like in the first one, he's just a total wuss, like scared of everything, everything that's happening. The second one, he's not as scared. He still kind of is a little scared, but you kind of see him start to get a little more badass.
Mm-hmm.
But you also see him lose his mind in that one.
Yeah.
And in Army of Darkness, he just embraces the crazy.
Oh yeah, in Army of Darkness, you can tell he's taking this, in a same shit, different day attitude to the Deadites.
Yeah,
it's like, you're taking over people's body and killing people. A day that ends in Y. Okay. But yeah, this
this is a classic, like such a classic horror film.
Yeah, I will say, I like the second one a lot more than this, but rewatching it, like, I can kind of see, like Sam Raimi's directing style in particular. And Bruce Campbell, to be frank, is honestly a decent actor.
Yeah.
he, like of all the actors here, he definitely stood out. Even though he wasn't doing his normal Ash thing, he definitely stood out as being like kind of leading man potential. But yeah, like the Sam Raimi directing style, you can kind of see it here, and I also feel like he's kind of holding back a bit, like kind of just wanting to do more of a streamlined horror movie here.
Well, I like to think that they had an idea, but
yeah,
I see a lot of Sam style in this that would later become staples.
Yeah,
of it. Like, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Well, he did do something that was quite innovative for the time too. Of the evil forces moving through the woods, where they would just attach a camera to like a bit of wood,
yeah,
and they would just run with it.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah,
it's such a simple idea. Yeah,
and and it really helps when you like. Sometimes when you have the camera and you realize it's like a handheld camera, it's kind of like has the audience wondering, wait, is this just the camera or is this like the evil forces? What are we watching? It's a nice little trick.
The dramatic like zoom ins that they did, especially in the end sequence when it was just Ash left alone. That like super close up on his face and how the lighting just had it right, like that shot. I love that. I love that. That's like one of my favorite parts of that movie.
Yeah.
And even like with him walking up the stairs out of the cellar with the shotgun. Like how you see like a clear shot and then later you see, oh, we're actually looking at him through the stairs. Like we're seeing him go up. Like, yeah, cool stuff and tricks. Like I think you could definitely tell it was made by a film student.
yeah, there's that aspect too. Yeah.
But for a very, very early effort, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Like it has such a strong place in my heart.
No, it honestly, watching this, it reminded me a lot of honestly watching Creed 3. We're seeing someone who doesn't have a whole lot of experience with directing, but has good ideas on what to do. But they aren't like fully like fleshed out. And we're while the styles of this in Creed 3 are drastically different, it's kind of almost the same approach. Two guys who are obviously very talented, who are essentially just experimenting and seeing what happens. Which, seeing how much I like Evil Dead 2 makes me excited to see what Michael B. Jordan does next.
Yeah.
But, yes, this is oh, yeah, one thing we definitely need to talk about is the gore effects. For, like, the low budget of this, those gore effects were impressive.
Yeah, they really were.
It's like, there was a couple things, it's like, oh, God, like, I think it was the pencil to the ankle was the one that got me the most. It's like, oh, God, shit.
Yeah, that one's still kind of...
Yeah, just every time I say it's like, they got long shots on it because they have good gore effects, and they're going to make sure you see it.
No, they did. The decomposing deadites.
Yeah.
Just before the hands and everything came up. Like, yeah, those were... Oh, by the way, you know whose hands those were?
I'm sure it was Ted's. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was Ted.
Yeah.
It was Ted.
Well, I mean...
They just put gloves on him.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously Ted was involved because it was Sam Raimi. And I also... Rob Tappert was involved because I'm pretty sure it was like Sam Raimi... Rob Tappert and like Bruce Campbell were like roommates or something in college.
Yeah, they all were like they were. I think they were always put together for projects, and they just ended up becoming like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And now like Sam is a very well known Hollywood director. Rob is a very well known and has an impressive Hollywood resume of producing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Bruce as well.
Bruce. Yeah,
and Bruce as well.
No, Bruce Campbell's career is very interesting because, like, I feel like he probably did get lots of opportunities, and he kind of, like, if he definitely did some dramatic stuff, but like, essentially, there came a point in his career where he's like, yeah, I'm cool just doing the B movie stuff.
Yeah, I think he's always said, like, I've heard him talk about it, and he said he's always had more fun doing those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, he would love to be cast as a leading man in anything, but in reality, it's like, but really with those, there's more freedom on those. There's more range for me to be expressive as an actor and not get stuck into somebody else's vision. I could actually interpret the role and portray it, and that's just God. You actually have a respect for the craft too.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, in the B, he could have more fun. So that's why he could do movies like The Man with the Screaming Brain.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Have I seen that one? I think I have.
It's a great one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one.
Or, such other classics as like Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Bubba Hotep. I've definitely seen My Name is Bruce.
Alien. Yeah, or Cave Alien.
Yeah,
Wait,
I know.
That was a movie in My Name is Bruce, wasn't it? Or no, he actually did a Cave Alien. That's right.
Well, he did like an alien apocalypse thing. Wasn't that it?
Yeah, and
I don't remember.
he also did a movie called Avalanche where he played a terrorist and Sean Easton. He went up against Sean Easton.
Nice.
He went up against Rudy. Bruce is bald in that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No. He's got an interesting career, but he's got some gems, man.
No, he does.
And like he's doing it his way, so I kind of dig it. But yeah, overall, Evil Dead, probably my least favorite of the trilogy. But I kind of like upon this rewatch, I have more of a respect for it than I did before because I used to not like it, but now I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I see the roots, I see what would come later, and I kind of appreciate it.
And I'd definitely say this is the scariest, in the sense of a horror film, the scariest out of the entire original trilogy.
Potentially.
2 has some scary.
Well, I mean, 2, yeah, the only competitor is 2, because 3... Yeah. 3 is so much fun, but that is a comedy.
Yeah, it is a straightforward comedy.
Yeah. 2... We'll get to 2 next week, but 2 is definitely a horror movie with some great comedic timing. But yeah, as far as straight horror, yeah, this would probably be the scariest of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I know. I remember liking the remake from 2013 as well, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't have anything wrong. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
But yeah, this is a solid freshman effort
for the
from
longest
Sam Raimi.
time. Yeah, for the longest effort, I considered like Drag Me to Hell like a spiritual successor to The Evil Dead.
See, I haven't seen Drag Me to Hell, so
it's good.
Oh, maybe
has that great balance. Has that great balance of comedy and horror in it.
Have you ever seen The Gift?
No.
We should do like a Sam Raimi, like whenever there's like a free week, maybe just do like a Sam Raimi like retrospective.
Okay.
Because
like, okay, yeah.
I'm
cool
kind of down for that. There has to be a free week, which is kind of a pain in the butt, especially when they keep on releasing goddamn noteworthy movies. Studios, I know there's a pandemic, but you can slow down a bit. You know what I'm saying?
You can slow it down a little.
But yeah, this is if you're somewhat interested in the Evil Dead movies, check this one out. I do know the second one, if you dive into the second one, it essentially does a quick recap of the first one in the beginning of the second one.
Well,
but yeah,
what's really
different
fun
though.
is there's an edit that fans have made, and really I've heard Bruce and Sam both say this exactly. That if you take all the events of Evil Dead, right up until where the spirit attacks him at the end, and you cut it right there, but you cut into Evil Dead 2 where that scene happens after the quick recap in the beginning. But you cut that together, that is the full linear story.
Really?
Of the trip to the cabin, yeah.
Kind of want to see that version now. But yeah,
so like you pretty much just watch Evil Dead right into Evil Dead 2.
Well, that's
you
the
just
thing.
miss the whole the recap at first. So you get to see the funny of him spinning around and then becoming possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah, and I'm down for that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
that also explains how he was able to split in Army of Darkness.
Well, it's one of those things.
I've spent way too much reading into these movies.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's cool history, and Sam Raimi, in my opinion, is a great director. So yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I know there's lots of people talking about how Evil Dead 2 was essentially a remake of this one, which they're wrong. I mean, they kind of reshoot stuff because they don't have rights. But you can clearly see the moment where Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead 1 ends and Evil Dead 2 begins, because that shot is pretty much in Evil Dead 2, and that's pretty much where that movie starts.
Well, that's also why they had a different actress for... Well, they were going to shoot additional footage for the beginning of Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Well, the theatrical Army of Darkness. And I believe it's also in the director's cut, too. But where there's scenes of him and Linda is played by a different actress in that one.
Yeah, it's almost
played by Bridget Fonda, I think, in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I think it's Bridget Fonda. It's somebody fairly famous in Army of Darkness, which it gets funny. I think it's almost a cliche.
Which is kind of funny, and I can't tell, like, were they just fortunate enough to get Bridget, or did they cast her just for the irony and tell her, you're kind of a joke, but here's the joke. Kind
of a big name actress for, like, a role where it's like, oh yeah, you're just in the flashback. You actually died before this movie even starts.
Yeah, you're long dead before any of these events take place. We just need you for the beginning.
It actually makes me wish that, like, when they did Ash vs. Evil Dead, maybe at the beginning of every season, we have, like, somehow Ash recounts the events of the cabin, and it's always a different woman playing his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Seeing what celebrities they could get in there.
Or just at the beginning of each one, they do a recap. But it's the same characters from Ash vs. the Evil Dead, but it's Bruce narrating it.
Yeah.
And they're portrayed by different actors.
Yeah.
But then when the actual episodes start, it's the cast.
Yeah. That would be awesome,
dealing
too.
with Lorenzo and Ray Santiago, yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a solid movie. Just seeing the roots of the Evil Dead, I'm excited to see 2 now upon watching this.
Yeah, I am too.
Are we ready to move on to Last of Us?
Yes, let's get into it.
All right, Last of Us. The last 3 episodes. To my understanding, this is kind of the full recap of the first game as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, God damn, this series was fucking good.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, I love the storyline. I love, honestly, the relationship between Joel and Ellie is like the anchor. Is that the term I want to use for? It's linchpin. Yeah. It's the linchpin of this series, and it works really well. Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal have a great, chemistry, father-daughter chemistry, obviously. But yeah, I think it works really well, and just I kind of just want to dive right into the ending, because that ending fucking, like...
Well, let's just talk about each episode. Like,
fine. You're gonna control me? You're gonna control... Fine.
No, I'm just padding the episode.
Fine. Episode 7. Well, episode 7 was pretty good, too.
No, I'm just trying to pad our episode.
Oh, pad our episode. I see how it is. Yeah. Well, well, episode 7 was after he got stabbed, which, I was wondering what would happen, because that was a bad stabbing he had. And...
yeah, it wasn't looking good.
Yeah, and one could argue this episode is kind of padding, but, like, we're seeing a lot of important backstory, too, so I hate using that term.
We get to... Yeah, we get to see how Ellie first got the bite.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
We also get to see a bit of a backstory with her, where she had a companion, someone who she ended up falling in love with.
Yeah,
and, I forget the girl's name, but they just kind of were trying to survive together in a mall, and
it was
attacked.
Yeah, it was a nice story between them.
Scene, yeah, it was a scary scene in that. Like, I was worried. I was like, oh god, because I was thinking, is this after Joel has passed? Like, did Joel die and was just taking place afterwards?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have the essentially, we see them, and at first it's like, oh, they're 2 friends, but we clearly see throughout this, there are moments where it's at least definitely for Ellie more than friendship, she feels.
Yeah.
And then, you can even tell there's that moment pretty close to the end where, Ellie's not really getting anywhere, and she's like, let's go home. Let's call this a day. Because, like, her friend gets this abandoned mall all set up. And, they just spend, like, this night in this mall, doing all these activities, going to an arcade, all just doing fun stuff. And it's weird. It's the little things, like in the apocalypse, that you miss. Like, Ellie was excited to see, what's he call them, electronic stairs?
Yeah.
It's like the escalator, the thing that scares children.
As it should.
Yes. They will eat you.
Children should fear and respect escalators.
That is true.
And not sit on them.
Yeah. But, this is I like, that is one thing I wanted to go ahead and point out. Bella Ramsey does a great job, kind of as this character. Like, you forget, like, she grew up in the apocalypse. Like, the apocalypse happened, like, 6 years before she was born in canon. So, like, this is all the world she's known. So every once in a while, she's exposed to stuff like a car or electronic stairs. And she's like, oh my god, this is, like, the coolest thing ever. And what I love is, like, that juxtaposed to how we normally see her, where she's just kind of this hard-ass, kind of sarcastic, but kind of hard-ass character who's used to living the rough life. Then every once in a while, something happens kind of goofy, and she's like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. I think she does a great job in this role. Honestly, both Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are both fantastic in this series. Is there an actor who does a bad job in this series?
No.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody. But, that whole episode with them in the mall, and eventually, she, her and her girlfriend do start, being girlfriendly. But, it's a very nice, bittersweet little love story there, because obviously there is what do they call them? Zombies? Walkers? What do they call them?
Not really. They don't call, I think they call those whistlers.
Okay, whistlers. Yeah, that's right. There's like different varieties of them here, and they all have
but
like
they
different
don't call
names.
them zombies.
Yeah,
I have not heard them or can remember them referring to them as zombies at all during this series.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a general name for them in this series. Hey, if you know the general name for them, list them in the comments. Oh, and also make sure to like and subscribe, follow, all that stuff.
All of the stuff.
Yeah. All that stuff I forget to tell people you should do.
Yeah, like the plug that we should be doing before and the end of the episode.
Yes, that one.
We're just going to do it right here in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle of Last of Us. Make sure to like and subscribe to Bobby Quarters. Make sure to like and subscribe to Organized Chaos. Make sure to like and subscribe to this very podcast.
Yes.
But bittersweet ending because the zombie thing. Fungi zombie pops up and bites them both, and I believe it's next episode where it's revealed that like they decide they're just gonna wait it out, and of course her friend turns and Ellie does not. And
that's kind of where we find out that Ellie has some sort of immunity. But and in 7 we also see what happens when she was born.
That was the beginning of 9.
That's right. I'm jumping ahead.
How dare you jump ahead? That's my job to jump ahead. You're supposed to hold us back, Bobby. Come on.
That's right. I'm slipping.
But yes, and that kind of leads us to episode 8. And episode 8 was the creepy cult episode. Because I think every zombie show needs a creepy cult episode, right?
Yeah, we need to have some level of a religious zealous extremist.
No, there's like this town that's set up in a resort, and Ellie first encounters them when she kills a deer, and they're like, well, you can't take this back by yourself, so we're going to take it, and she holds a gun on him and says no, and they're kind of at a standoff because, like, I guess essentially they're at a standoff because Ellie doesn't kill them. And she probably should upon knowing more. But yes. So they have this deal over the deer. Oh, yeah, and she makes a deal with them to get antibiotics for Joel. Because at the end of episode 7, she does stitch up his wound. But, like, he's still not healing. So, she makes a deal for half the deal for antibiotics, which she does get from them, but then they essentially, what do they do? Yeah, no, I remember they let her go. She gets the antibiotics to him, and it's questionable how she gives them to him. But then, yeah, she gets captured, and they attempt to kill Joel, but that doesn't quite work because he's kind of recovered enough to start kicking ass. And then, yeah, creepy cult gets even creepier because while Ellie's kidnapped, we find out that they're cannibals, and that the main guy is getting romantic with her. Keep in mind, Ellie's supposed to be like 14 in this show.
Yeah,
I know the actress is like 18 or 19, but like not the character.
No, and that was kind of cringy.
Yeah, he started doing that. It's like, oh god, this is super creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Joel's able to eventually kind of recover and kind of guerrilla warfare his way through a lot of guys. But before he can get to the main guy and save Ellie, Ellie gets to him, which honestly is fitting because that guy's was a complete creep through the whole episode, and yeah, she needed that.
Yeah, she killed the fuck out of him,
and he had it coming. I felt my eyes were so dry during that.
Yeah, that I was just like after her initial barrage of attack, I was like, just hit him one more time.
Yeah, you can just keep on going. It's fine. It's fine. He's creepy. But that brings us to what you were talking about at the beginning of episode 9. We see Ellie's mom essentially getting attacked by fungi zombies.
The things.
Yeah.
The things.
Yeah. But we see like she's in the middle of giving birth and she's getting attacked and she's able to get into a room isolated and she gives birth, but she also knows she gives birth and she's bitten. So she cuts the umbilical cord as soon as possible. And then the Fireflies pop up, mainly Maureen, who's been like the main Firefly throughout the series. And it's been a couple episodes, but anyways. She pops up and the mother is like, she was born after I was bitten. She's fine. She's of course lying, but we also now kind of know that's what Ellie's thing is. Because Ellie's thing is that she's always essentially been infected. She just isn't one of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that leads us to modern day where Joel and Ellie are taking Ellie to the Fireflies. The Fireflies stumble across them. And it's a very nice, friendly meeting. Everything goes well, and they are able to solve the world, and everything ends happily ever after. The world is fixed. Hooray! What?
No,
No,
that's not how it ended. That's not how it ended.
No, I clearly remember Joel and Ellie were having ice cream at the end, and, the world was fixed. No?
No.
I get confused.
No. They wanted to take her blood. And by not just like a sample, like they wanted to completely take all of her blood and like try to create some sort of a cure with it on a way that they weren't even sure would work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
kill her.
They seemed fairly confident, but it was like what they needed to do was essentially cut out her brain and like carve into it. And they were thinking there's stuff in her brain that would allow them to spread it to other people and make other people immune. And Joel was not down for that.
No, he was not.
And it's kind of a great scene because essentially it's Joel choosing Ellie over humanity. And it's like, I kind of get it. I
kind of get it too.
It's like, wow. It's kind of...
I know that
yeah,
this ending has been controversial amongst fans.
Mm-hmm. Well, not as controversial as the next game, but yeah, it's Joel, like, and there's lots of moral ambiguity to Joel in this because Ellie never had a choice. Nobody ever asked Ellie, hey, are you cool with this? Would you be willing to give your life to end this? Nobody ever asked her. And after Joel saves her, he never maybe it happens at the beginning of the next story, but like he didn't tell her what happened. He didn't tell her what was going down. He just told her they were under attack, and he just barely got her out alive.
Yep.
So there's lots of questions. Well, and that's the thing. Like I get why Joel did it. I kind of wish he was honest with Ellie, but I get why he did it. Because, yeah, like the Fedra, the Fireflies, like there's all these groups of humanity all splintered off. And let's face it, none of them are great at all.
No.
It doesn't seem like any of them are pure evil, but it doesn't seem like any of them are good either. It's just kind of human beings being shitty.
Yeah, for the most part.
So, yeah, no, Joel essentially deciding I would rather let humanity burn if Ellie's not a part of it. I get it, because, like,
yeah,
it's like, it would be like him letting his daughter die again. And it's like, it's not something, I don't think the character would ever be game for that, ever.
No.
But yeah, overall, I thought this was great. Like, my thoughts overall on the series, I think it's overall great. I do feel like probably the beginning was stronger than, although the ending, the last episode I thought was great. I think my favorite episode is still probably that third one, though.
Yeah, that one was still great.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to top, but that one had quite the punch to it.
Yeah, I know. It's like I was not expecting that. I was not expecting to watch a zombie show and get that and go, oh, that was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will say the last episode was really good. Probably my favorite episodes are probably the first one, the third one, and the last one overall.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, to its credit, that means it had a strong beginning and a strong ending.
Yeah.
That's not super common. Usually you kind of drop one of those. So yeah, overall, fantastic series. Really liked it. Now, if everybody's concerned, don't worry. We're going to be getting more Pedro Pascal escorts a child places next week when we cover Mandalorian.
That's right. We're wrapping up season 2 next week, aren't we?
Yes. I think I saw a meme that said it was a picture of Last of Us and Mandalorian next to each other, and it said it's planned by 2030 to have every TV series be about Pedro Pascal escorting children places.
Him and his adoptive family.
Yes. And I couldn't help it. I just shared the Boondock Saints meme where I'm like, I'm strangely comfortable with this. Hey, so far they're good. But yeah, what do we have on the table for next week?
I just had the file open. Let me check.
Oh, yes. We have Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Evil Dead 2, and Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That sounds like fun. Let's see. I guess anything you want to talk about, Bobby, before we sign out?
No.
All right. Well, that has been an episode. I am Organized Chaos.
And I'm Bobby Quarters.
Yes. Like and subscribe and share and comment. Make sure to follow our individual channels.
Yes, and follow us on Twitter if you want to.
Yeah. Yes. We have
me trolling pundits.
Trolling people can be fun. I don't do it as much as I used to, but it kind of depends. It all depends on my mood too.
I just do public figures.
Well, I definitely do popular people. Normally when it's smaller people trolling me, I mute them. I hate there's probably lots of people in my comments getting pissed that I don't reply. It's like, yeah, I mute you. I don't care. But yeah, make sure to follow us on all the things. Everyone, have a good one.
Take care.
I did it with my hand on my mouse, so this should be okay.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.